Are you thinking about moving to BC? Hey, I'm Russell Mortlock with the Mortlock Real Estate Group here in Kelowna, British Columbia. Today, I'm going to be going through the top places that you should live if you're considering moving to BC. So let's start off with what it's like to live here in Vancouver, what you should be expected. So majority of the time, it is kind of known for having a good portion of the year as rainy season. It has quite mild temperatures, and a lot of people go there for the amount of opportunities that you can in some high ranking jobs. But let's break down what the actual wages look like on average for someone in Vancouver. It is $51,000 is the annual salary that a person makes in Vancouver, British Columbia. Let's get into real estate. So the average price of purchasing real estate in Vancouver is $1,111,000. If you're looking to purchase a detached home, that is $1,803,000 is the average price for a detached home. Townhouses will cost you about $1,020,000 in order to get into that market. And then we have condos. That is an average price of $720. With the density and the population of what actually lives in Vancouver, most of the population does live in condo style living, because being close to where you work, everything that you do is super important in these major cities. So now let's look at what it costs on average for a person to live in Vancouver. The costs here are extremely high, especially if you compare it to other cities here in Canada. So we have an average cost for a single person around $3,800 a month for your living expenses. Then if we were to break down on a family of four, a family is going to be spending around $7,800 a month to live in Vancouver. The healthcare in Vancouver is quite high, and they have every specialist, with it being a major city in the west of Canada. The only downfall of this is it's very difficult to find a family physician, and the wait times if you were to go to the hospital or walk-in clinics are extremely long. So this is a little bit of a knock. The healthcare system does have a ton of resources, but there's a long waiting times and it can be tough to get into it. The current population of just inside the Vancouver city is 662,000. This is excluding all the metropolitan areas that kind of surround Vancouver. That's the actual hub of what the population is that lives in the city limits. And the making up this population, this is a really well diverse population, with 51% being minority. So this is a very hot spot for immigration. It seems to be one of the #1 places that people tend to move to, just because there is a lot of opportunities for upper end jobs, and it has so many resources available to it, and it has a really mild climate. And if you're considering moving to British Columbia, you're going to want to subscribe to this channel, because I'm going to be dropping weekly videos on what it's like to be purchasing real estate and just giving you general context of what's actually going on in the market. So you want to stay up to date and subscribe to this channel. The next top place we have for you to live in British Columbia is Peachland. So this might not be a place that a lot of people have heard about. It is a district municipality located in the Okanagan Valley, and it is on the west side of Lake Okanagan. It is well known for being a quiet place with a small population, so it is very common for people who retire there and want a little peace and quiet. So let's start off with what the wages look like if you were to live in Peachland. It will be said a lot of people that are still in the workforce that live in Peachland, they typically do probably work maybe in Penticton, Kelowna, West Kelowna. They don't normally work directly inside Peachland, but the average wage that you'll see for a Peachland salary is $41,000 annually. We have an average real estate price of $931,000. We have detached home price of $1,064,000 for a single family home. Townhouse costs around $814,000, and we have condos ranging from $473,000 for a standard condo. There has been a little bit of discrepancy in Peachland, because there was like an ultra luxury condo development that just had all its sales, where the recent sale prices in Peachland are a little bit skewed, because there was an ultra luxury condo development that just happened where they were selling for $2 million and above for some of these penthouse condos that had private pools, and it was extremely luxury. So this did affect kind of the overall real estate prices in Peachland. So I did exclude those sales from the condo market to bring your average to $437,000. So what does it cost to live in Peachland? So for a single person, you're going to be looking around $3,000 a month in cost of living expenses. For a family of four, you're going to be spending around $6,500 a month on living expenses. A little bit of a knock to Peachland is it does not have a hospital or any more family physicians located in the district of Peachland. You do have to either go to Penticton or Kelowna. Kelowna General Hospital being about 25 to 20 minutes away, depending on traffic. And then you have Penticton Hospital, which is around 35 to 40 minutes away from Peachland. So this is a little bit of a downfall. I know the last family doctor just recently retired and no one else has taken over starting a family practice in Peachland. So if you're a doctor watching this video, this might be a excellent business opportunity for you to get a whole bunch of patients right out the gate if you were to start a physician office in Peachland. The total population of Peachland is around 5,700 people. It is just a little kind of district municipality where I would say a lot of the residents are there for the summertime and mostly retirees. We have only a 3% minority out of that population in Peachland. And then if you're someone that is relocating but wanting to purchase a home, I'm going to leave my link in my calendar below and you can book a call with me directly so we can talk about what it would look like for you to relocate out to BC. The next top place that we have to live in BC is Surrey. It is located on the south of the Fraser River on the Canadian and US border, and it is a member of the Metro Vancouver district and the metropolitan area of Vancouver. It seems to be an absolute hotspot for immigration, with it being located so close to the US border and just a short ways away from Vancouver. The average wages that we see here in Surrey is $48,000 annually for a salary. Now let's discuss what it's like to purchase real estate. So this is definitely a pro compared to living inside Vancouver. Some of these outer Vancouver metropolitan areas have way better real estate prices. So Surrey comes in with an average price of $942,000 annually. If you were to look at buying a detached home, you're going to be spending around $1,503,000 to get into the single family market. Townhouses cost around $803,000 and condos will cost around $522,000 here in Surrey. Now let's break down what the average cost of living for being in Surrey. A single person, you're going to be spending around $3,500 a month to live in Surrey. A family of 4, your living costs are going to be $7,200. Surrey does have an abundance of healthcare services right in the local region, but it is very similar to Vancouver with its high population that you're going to be seeing a lot of wait times if you were to go to the hospital, and it is difficult to find a family doctor. The population of Surrey is 568,000, with bringing in around 62% of minorities. So you do see a lot of culture and diversity living in the Surrey area. It was a hotspot and still continues to be a hotspot for immigration with its lower real estate prices, its quick commute to the US border, and being so close to Vancouver. It seems to just be a hub for immigration. The next top place to live in BC might be a place that not a lot of people have heard of, and that's going to be Nelson. Nelson is located in the Selkirk Mountains, west of the Kootenay Lake, and it is in the southern interior of British Columbia. This area is normally referred to as the Kootenays, that kind of stretches pretty wide, but Nelson falls right into that district. Nelson is commonly referred to as kind of like a hippie town, and a lot of free spirits tend to live there. I'm not stigmatizing that, but that's just from when I played hockey and trail and we'd go visit Nelson, and just from talking to a lot of people that do live in Nelson, it is kind of like a free-flowing, really outdoorsy, and taking it kind of easy vibe that you get there in Nelson. You have an average wage of $409,000 annually. Now let's break down what real estate prices. So this is one of the most affordable places that we'll be talking about in this video. It has an average price of $496,000 to purchase real estate in Nelson. A detached home is going to be costing around $699,000. Townhouses cost $494,000. Condos will be $341,000. So you do see a really good discrepancy in some of these areas here in British Columbia, where you have Vancouver, that's just, it's the same price to buy a single family home in Nelson gets you a condo in Vancouver. So that's something that's a little bit of a downfall if you were to move to certain areas of British Columbia. There is such a wide discrepancy of what real estate costs in certain cities and areas. The cost of living in Nelson is one of the lowest, so a single person is going to be spending around $2,950 a month to live. A family of 4, cost of living will be $6,400. Now let's chat about the healthcare services in Nelson. They're going to be a wide variety and offering pretty much everything that you can get other than maybe some specialized treatments. So it does have a hospital, it has walk-in clinics, it has some assisted living and residential care facilities, can all be found in the Nelson environment. So you should be able to see treatment whatever kind of is fit, other than if it's maybe some sort of specialized service. Nelson's healthcare system is pretty good and does have a decent amount of family doctors available, just from my research. The total population of Nelson is 11,106 people, with a minority of 6.8%. And just like I said at the start, it is kind of well known as being a free spirit town that a lot of people just go to enjoy the outdoors and all the hiking trails and the lake that's in close proximity, and the lake that's just right in your backyard. Next we have Kamloops. This is located in south central British Columbia. It is well known for its confluence of the Thompson River that runs all the way through Kamloops, and then that you have the Kamloops Lake, which is just east of the city. Now let's dive into what the average wage is in Kamloops. You see an average salary of $53,000. Now let's break down the real estate prices. So this is another one of the most affordable cities that you can relocate and is pretty high ranking in terms of wages and does have a lower cost of living. So it seems to be a really great space for people that are looking just to start a family, wanting to get out of some of the higher cost centers, but make some good wages. Kamloops seems to be a good place for those people. We have an average real estate price of around $522,000. To get into a single family detached home, you're going to be spending $645,000. Townhouse is going to cost you $565,000. Condos will range from $357,000. So you do see some really good prices in order to get into the real estate market, making it a great spot and a really affordable place to live. Now let's chat about the cost of living. So for a single person, you're going to be spending around $3,200 a month, and for a family of 4, you'll be spending around $6,800 to live in Kamloops. Kamloops does have a good healthcare system too, but it's almost like every other place here in BC, and I think that's pretty standard across Canada. The hospital runs about 110% of capacity, so there is wait times here in Kamloops. It's not going to be as high as what you see in Vancouver and some of those bigger areas, but that seems to be kind of like a trend and a leading indicator all across Canada that our hospitals are definitely over capacity, so that's something that you're going to run into no matter where you're located. But they do have professionals and special services that can treat just about any patient right locally in Kamloops. And if you're wanting more information on real estate prices here in British Columbia, give me a call at 778-392-723. We can just have a quick chat and I can go over exactly where you're thinking about moving or what the costs are going to be, and I can share the information that I know. But if you're someone that's still needing a little bit more and don't want to quite start, just visit my channel. I have a ton of real estate content just breaking down what's going on in the market and what it's like to live in other cities in British Columbia. The next top city that we have in British Columbia is Penticton. So this is located in the southern Okanagan and it is between Lake Okanagan and 𝐂𝐤𝐿 Lake. It is a real hotspot for retirees, and you do see an older population in Penticton. Recently, they have been doing a lot of new development to spice up and bring some youth into the economy. That's historically, it seems to be just such a great place to retire to because you don't get all the hustle bustle of Kelowna. But if you do want to go visit that, you're just a short drive away, and it's a great place to be. So the average wage here in Penticton is going to be $408,000. Let's break down what it costs to purchase real estate in Penticton. It's definitely a lot more affordable to say if you were going to be in Kelowna or some of these other cities, and it does have a decent population, so you do get a lot of opportunities. We do see an average real estate price of $597,000. A detached home is going to cost you $807,000. A townhouse is $540,000, and a condo will cost around $451,000. Penticton also does have a really good cost of living, so a single person in Penticton is going to be spending around $3,000 a month, where a family of 4 will be spending around $6,500. Making, with its low real estate prices, both the lakes situated in the nice weather, it is a great place to call home. The Penticton healthcare system, it does have a major hospital. This does service a lot of the little towns just around in the area that you see, like Okanagan Falls, Naramata, Oliver, 𝐂𝐚𝐥𝐿. They all seem to kind of converge and go to the Penticton hospital. This one, just from my research, does run about 120% capacity. So if you are looking to go to the hospital, you will be having an extended wait time with it servicing so many little towns just right around Penticton. The total population of Penticton is 36,882 people, and we see around an 8.2% minority of the population. Now let's dive into my personal favorite and number one pick of where to live in British Columbia. That is Kelowna. It is located in the Okanagan Valley and is in the southern part of the interior BC. My personal experience for moving to Kelowna is it's been amazing. There's just so many opportunities what you can do in terms of work-wise, all the outdoor activities. It just has a great blend of youth. You really do get revitalized kind of moving to one of the city because you spend so much of your time outdoors. But let's break down what it looks like for average cost of wages here in Kelowna. The average wage here in Kelowna is $55,000. So this does have one of the highest wages that you see in BC. A downfall of living in Kelowna is it does have high real estate prices, where you see an average home costing $895,000. A detached single family home, you're going to be looking at spending $1,225,000 currently in the Kelowna market. Townhouses sales are range from $752,000, and the average cost for a condo is $539,000. This is an overall knock to Kelowna. The real estate prices are high, but you do get to live in one of the most beautiful places in Canada, so I think it's well worth the price in terms of what it's going to do for your lifestyle. So a single person for cost of living here is going to be spending around $3,300 a month to live. A family of 4, you're going to see a cost of living of $7,100. So just like I was saying before, the real estate prices are high. The cost of living is also high here in Kelowna. The healthcare system here in Kelowna, we do see the one hospital that does service a large area. So this one too, just like everyone else, is definitely overrun and over capacity. A really nice part about Kelowna though is it does have a lot of specialty medicine, and you're able to see pretty much any treatment that you need, you're able to receive here in Kelowna. The population here currently is 142,000 people, and this isn't including West Kelowna or Lake Country. That's just actually Kelowna on its own. A really interesting thing about everyone that I meet here in Kelowna, it doesn't seem like anyone's actually born and raised in here. It seems to be all the Albertans and people from Vancouver and everyone else kind of like escaping where they used to be, and we just all congregate around the lake here at Lake 𝐂𝐚𝐥𝐿 in Kelowna. So an interesting stat was, well, 15% of the people that live in Kelowna weren't born here. For my research, that is quite high when you're comparing it to other cities. Right now, Kelowna is the second fastest growing city in Canada, and it's due to its high immigration. So by numbers comparing it to Vancouver, we only have a 9.5% of minority. This number will be going up with the amount of immigration that Kelowna is experiencing, just because it doesn't have the same real estate prices that you see in Vancouver and a lower cost of living, but it does have higher wages than what you can receive in Vancouver. So it is an area that a lot of people are relocating to. That is a majority of the people that I help purchase homes here. They are relocating from different cities, and it's just amazing to see what Kelowna is turning into. There's so much development that's going on. The city is just adding a ton to the economy. There's so many jobs in the building trades, the tech world, aerospace. You got agriculture, orchards, and farming. You have an endless list of the different type of industries that you could potentially work in to go along all the standard kind of healthcare and professional services that are available here in Kelowna. And if you are wanting to make the move to Kelowna, British Columbia, I'm a licensed realtor here, so I can help you every step of the way. I'm going to leave a link in my calendar below so you can book a call with me, what works best for you. But if you're someone that's still on the fence and doesn't quite know if Kelowna will be the right spot for you, you're going to want to watch this video next, where I go over the top 7 reasons why you should move to Kelowna.